What I'm going to be doing in this clip is taking reference shots of the M2A1 half-track, such as this one of the chassis, and replicating the weathering effects on my model. To give a splattered and dirty look under the chassis of the vehicle, I'm going to use a pigment wash splattered on with a piece of old card and an old brush. By dragging the bristles over the edge, I get the splattering effect you see here. I will apply the splattering effect to logical places where water or mud may have splashed up the vehicle while it's running. These include the chassis, the wheel arches, the wheel at the front of the vehicle, the rear of the vehicle, and the sides of the crew cab at the back. Here you can see the effect how it's built up. What I have here is a reference shot showing a half-track being driven around a muddy field. You can see where the mud and grass has built up on the running gear, so I'm going to replicate this effect on my model, using the same technique that I showed in my last video to build up layers of dried mud and grass. This time I'm going to be using a much smaller brush and applying the mud in a much more controlled fashion. The approach is to be sparing with the grass effect. You can always add more, but it's difficult to remove it afterwards. From the reference picture, I also saw that some mud had dropped down onto the lower running gear, so I'll apply the same effect down there. This picture shows the drive sprocket of an M2A1 half-track and how it's worn where it's in contact with the tracks. To replicate this effect, I'm going to use a graphite pencil and I'm going to rub this on any area which may come into contact with the track. This includes the rim and face of both the idler wheel and the drive sprocket, as well as the return roller in the middle, and I will just rub this on the edges and let it catch the pencil lead. This gives a good metallic effect which catches the light and does look realistic. And here you can see the final touches to the weathering on the running gear, which are very simple techniques but do add a nice touch.